Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's Daily Recap is for Wednesday, December the 27th, 2023. Wednesday, December the 27th. Not a whole lot happening, y'all. This is not going to be that long of a daily recap. I'm going to dive right into it. Sasha goes to see Cody because she tells them, hey, after he left Maxie's, Felicia has a feeling he's hiding something, and Felicia's going to try to uncover it. And she's trying to convince Cody that, look, it's better if you just come out with it. And Cody is saying, no, I can't because blah, blah, blah. Mac doesn't deserve the bad attention being associated with me would bring him. I can't do that to him. He's too good a guy. I signed an affidavit saying that I was Tall's son before he dropped the lawsuit. So I perjured myself on an official document. And I'm thinking, you know how many people do that? Cody, what an idiot. Because you now coming out as Mac's son means nothing. The WSB could care less about Mac Scorpio. They're not even going to know that you're now Mac's son. Seriously, he dropped the lawsuit. And guess what? It could be, you know what? I just felt something was wrong about that original DNA test. It would be, you know what, Mac? Can we take another DNA test just to make sure? Let's go to a different place. Just to make sure. Because see, GH is known for messing up DNA tests, right? But no, I can never, like for the rest of my life, because, oh, shut up. So Sasha really got nowhere, but she pretty much let him know, look, she's his friend and she's on his side. But just understand this, Felicia's a good PI. She's going to uncover it. And guess what? Felicia is already on the detail. She talked to Robert and she kind of almost got into old Felicia voice, but she realized, ooh, let me not go back to, oh, Robert. No, she didn't. She didn't. Just a little. But she wants Robert's help because she feels no, that Cody is Mac's son. And Robert is like, why would you want people to believe you're the son of Leopold Tall or whatever his name is and not Max Scorpio? It would be the other way around. And so somehow he says, well, maybe go ask his attorney. And Scott was over there drowning his sorrows with Liesel, and what's that chick's name? Lucy, not sleeping with him the night before, right? In all this food. Okay, so she goes over and talks to him, and Scott lets it know, yeah, that he had a lawsuit against the WSB, Cody did, for messing up that necklace that he had claimed to. And because he was Leopold's son, the necklace should have been his, but it was destroyed. And then it says, and then he dropped the lawsuit. So I'm mad. Don't mention that name, Cody Bell. He messed up a payday for me because we would have won that case. And Felicia was like, oh, okay, so he had something to gain being Leopold's son. So she goes back and she tells Robert, you know what? He goes, did you find out anything from that Baldwin? She goes, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I've got something to go on. So she got something to go on. Okay, Felicia, go ahead, Felicia. Find out who's Cody's daddy, Max's baby daddy. So now we have Alexis. She's trying to let the girls know. But see, this precedent that Alexis brought up, right? It actually applied with the other surrogate. Why wasn't it brought up then? She's trying to tell the girls that it's not that cut and dry. And she was telling them there's nothing about the baby after the baby is born. There's nothing about the situation that ever makes that Molly's baby. And they're looking at her, and because Christina said, I could just sign a piece of paper, turn in the baby, saying that I have no right. She goes, no, it doesn't work that way, Christina. And they're not thinking about it. And I'm thinking, well, then it didn't work that way for the first surrogate either, right? Because in the state of New York, genetic surrogacy is not enforceable. You can't force the mother to give up the child in the state of New York. Well, that other surrogate was using her egg, and I'm telling you, everybody, I don't think she had a miscarriage. 20 years from now, we're going to have some mixed kid coming back to Port Charles talking about you, my daddy, to TJ, right? That's what's going to happen there. Well, they pretty much shut Alexis down because Alexis says, look, I have done all the research. I've got the paperwork. Look, this is the document. She was like getting it ready. And the girls should have been thankful and said, you know what, Mom? You are right. And Molly is an attorney. But Christina's like, look, she's an attorney. And no offense, she's the only practicing attorney in the room. And boy, did that kind of hurt Alexis to the quick. And then Christina was like, I shouldn't have said that, Mom. Because, you know, your decades of legal experience, I'm not diminishing that. She goes, but Mom, this is between me and Molly. We understand that we don't need that kind of stuff between us. And I'm thinking, you guys are the very ones that do. Alexis should have said, you guys have only been back speaking to each other for 4 weeks. What are you talking about? You guys couldn't even be in the same room. And really, it was Molly to Christina. Molly will turn on her like a drop of a hat. So what do you mean? We're sisters. We stick together. Malls and I. Maul, get out of here. So Alexis was like, you know what? You both are right. Hey, as your mother and as a lawyer, you know, I know what I'm trying to do, but you know what? Sometimes I got to take that lawyer hat off and keep the mama hat on. And as the mother hat, I am on your side, both of you. And I'm so happy you guys are together close now. And she hugged them all. She hugged them both and they went off because she called them before they went to work, right? So, I think I have the same picture twice, y'all. I sure do. And then the next picture that I don't have, which is not a biggie, Gregory Chase was taken to the hospital. He was trying to do hot yoga. I guess it's something that really makes you sweat and just, that was on his bucket list. And he overexerted himself and passed out. So the yoga instructor brought him to GH and the doctor was saying, you know, it could be something a little more serious than just being dehydrated. He says, look, I'm going to keep you overnight. I want to run some tests to check on all these various levels in Gregory to see what could be going on. And Chase and Finn came in the room because Brooklyn, before she left, she had a meeting to get to at Deception. She told Chase about Gregory wanting them to get married early so he could be functioning enough to be at the wedding. So Chase comes to the hospital, him and Finn are in the room with the doctor, and they tell him they're going to keep him overnight, but it's, you know, to run some tests and everything. And Gregory's like, and I'm going to be okay. Look, in and out, everything's fine. Now, Finn's a doctor. He knows that's not how it works, but okay, sure, Dad. And so Chase, his real name is Harrison, but Chase says, you know what? Everything better be fine because you promised my fiance a dance at our wedding this spring. And Gregory looked at him and he goes, this spring? You're moving it up? I didn't know you were going to do it this soon. So Chase is like, yep, Brooklyn and I decided we don't want to wait. So he doesn't want to wait, right? So that makes Gregory happy that now the wedding's going to be moved up. But the good part is at Deception, Brooklyn is running late. Mind you, we have a substitute Maxie. Kirsten Storms, I think her name is. Kirsten is out this is a temporary Maxie. For whatever reason, Kirsten's off. And this Maxie, and actually, you know what? This Maxie swooped right on in. I could see her as Maxie. Actually, I like the outfit they had her on as somebody working in an executive position. I really liked that. But anyway, Tracy and Lucy can't be in the same room with each other. So they're sniping at each other. Maxie's trying to keep the peace. She goes, you know what? I'm having a harder time with you too than I have with my own kids. And that's saying something. I need you both to be professional and keep the peace. Well, that didn't even last, not even 1 minute. And they started back and forth and back and forth. And so then Tracy snipes at Lucy, and then Lucy decides, oh, she's going to hit Tracy where it hurts. She's going to bring up Luke and how Tracy was second best to Luke because everybody knows Laura was the only woman, first woman for Luke. And then Tracy brought up, well, look, you can't keep anybody either. The great love of your life, Kevin, is also with Laura. And Lucy looks, and so Lucy goes on a tirade about, you're nasty, you're unlovable, nobody loves you, and you're gonna die alone. And as she's saying that, Brooklyn comes through the door. And she looked at Tracy. And don't get Brooklyn when she got one foot in front of the other, because she's turned almost sideways, like, well, I ought to ram you. Brooklyn, I didn't mind her doing the Brooklyn, because as she walked in, she was like, how dare you talk about my grandmother that way? She did everything but say you, right? Begins with a B, okay? Everything but say that. And Lucy looked, she goes, oh, she went on in. This company is lucky Tracy saved them because Lucy was running it into the ground. And then she said, and you, Lucy, every man you've had, every relationship, you've tossed that aside, everyone. And Lucy's like, oh, and so she said, and don't you talk about Luke Spencer to my grandmother. She said she loved Luke Spencer with all her heart. And she accepted Luke Spencer just the way he was. She didn't try to change him, and she loved him until the end. So don't you dare talk about love to my grandmother, because she is absolutely loved by every one of us. And she's the, ugh. And Lucy's like, well, you can have this meeting without me. She goes stomping out. And I thought, oh my goodness. And then the picture we got Tracy, as Brooklyn is defending her, she's just looking at her. Is she talking about me? Because rarely, if you think about it, everybody, people rarely defend Tracy, because she rarely needs defending. Tracy, you can really hold her own. It's just Lucy did a 1-2 punch when she brought up Luke and kept saying, because she goes, don't say his name again. And Luke, and she was just, ugh. And poor Tracy was kind of knocked off her game. But I tell you, that Brooklyn came in, mopped it up, right? And after Lucy stomped out, Tracy told her, Brooklyn, thank you. Because she goes, yes, grandmother. And she goes, thank you. Right? And so she goes, I meant every word of it, grandmother. Right? And so then she didn't want to cry. So she goes, okay, about you being late to this meeting. And so she goes, that's because something happened to Chase's father. Now, Brooklyn, unless Chase called her on the way saying that he had to go to the hospital, because when she left the house, Chase hadn't gotten the call. that Gregory was in the hospital. But perhaps Chase called her. Maybe she was going to tell her about Gregory's, she had to tell Chase about Gregory's wish about them up in the way, whatever she was going to say about Chase. And Tracy said, wait, Chase's father. She goes, well, okay, look. Now that is an acceptable excuse for you being late. She's saying, but if I'm going to give this company to you, Brooklyn, you have to be dedicated and you have to prove you deserve it. And she goes, I will, grandmother or granny. She may have even said granny, because she goes, grandmother, granny, Tracy, right? And you already know Tracy's getting ready to hot-foot it to General Hospital to check on Gregory, right? So, but that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Brooklyn came in and mopped up Lucy. Then it shows Lucy at going into Kelly's, telling Scott Baldwin she's got a proposition for him and it's going to make him a lot of money. He's going to go after Tracy Quartermain and marry her and then take her for everything she's got. Okay. I'm waiting for that to backfire on Lucy. See, Lucy does deserve to lose everything. She does not deserve to even be able to say she runs deception because Maxie does, not Lucy. So anyway, everybody, that's it. That's it for the daily recap of General Hospital. Let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. We've got some comments that I'm going to breeze right through. I should be able to get through all of them. NK Rose says Nina needs to acknowledge two things. She was in a coma and couldn't have saved Nell even if she wanted to, and that Nell was disturbed and did horrible things to other people. I am says, excellent analysis of Nina's fake confession. Nina will never admit her role because her relationships are built on lies and deceit. I apologize for the lack of clarity when I brought up Nina, Nell, and Madeline. And when you see, I didn't judge Donna. Madeline was Nina's mother. I said, who's Madeline? Because Madeline is non-entity to me, but you're right. They are all evil, narcissists, and entitled. It's their DNA. Nell treated Wiley the same as Madeline, meaning money meant more to them. Nina has money, but she's still grieving a 30-year loss of a family that Madeline created. Well, she created that loss. Her mother, not Carly, prevented her from raising her daughters. Nina's vindictiveness made her use Nell when she didn't know she was her daughter, just as her ugliness to Willow. Lisa knows who she is and which is the difference. She does not reference her as a victim. Yeah, no, Lisa doesn't think Nina's a victim at all. Ron says Nina's getting on Carly's last nerve. She's going to push the wrong buttons and Carly will go off on her and it will be soon. And Lucy says, loving how Esme's storyline is shifting into high gear. The sky is the limit. Thanks for the recap, lady. And user QG says, let Spencer and Trina elope. I'm here for the drama. They're not close enough. Their relationship hasn't progressed enough to think about eloping and being together like that. Dacia, they only slept together, twice? Dacia says Michael should go ahead and tell Willow everything before it gets out. Nina decides to tell. Michael should tell Willow now about it first. Then Sunny, then Carly, and then Drew Kane. Yes. Bernice says, check the glove for DNA, Dante will. Lisa says, completely agree with Crystal. Esme is not a victim of anything. Esme will be evil again, but hopefully only when needed. And only when needed to make the show interesting. Esme is going on Friday to see Heather, according to the TV guide. Wendy says, like mother, like daughter. She's horrible and will be again. I'm sure she'll take her mother's psycho advice. And then says Cyrus might be fun. He's allowed to creep around Sonny's family and plot. Can't wait. Nina should tell Sonny it's so over. Now, the funny thing is about them letting Esme be a little bit of bad, a little bit of not so bad. I think they'll go that way because you want to know what other character is that? Liesel. Liesel was horrible. Liesel did really bad things. She's bad and not so bad and then okay. I mean, realistically. So they can do it. They can work it in. And then Lisa says, Nina has not confessed anything. She's still trying to blame Carly. I think Cyrus is going to tell Carly. We'll see. DB says, I hope so. Every single time he does one good deed, he takes two steps backwards. It's time to blow the lid off this story. And then Lisa says to DB, yes, it is. The story needs to come out with as many people knowing. It should finally end. Nina wants forgiveness with having to tell what she did, and it is time that Sonny, Carly, and Drew know it was her, not Ned, that did it. It is coming out finally. Well, we'll see what's finally next summer. I wonder if when Cyrus tells what he heard, yes, Cyrus ain't gonna let that go that long. If he will include Michael and Ned also knowing and said nothing. Oh yeah, Cyrus is gonna blab on all of them. He's not gonna keep it ain't in him to not tell everything. And then Nikki says, did you notice how nasty she gets when she doesn't get her way? When she's talking to Carly, oh yeah, she flips a switch. She used to do that to Willow too, flip a switch. And Carly was refusing to forgive her nastiness. Um, she switched instantly. She is the lowest form of anything on a soap opera. Ooh, wow. That's saying a lot, Nikki. Because some got some vile folks on soaps. Um lowest thing on a soap opera. I like that. And Sonny Corinthos was such a great character before he threw his whole family away for this great love of his life that he barely knows. She has done nothing to show her loyalty. He didn't share any children with her. What did she do to become the great love of his life besides manipulate a man with a head injury and then stalk him and sleep with him in the middle of a nervous breakdown, forcing his wife to divorce him? Now he's single and he wants you? Whew. Yeah, I know. And then Lisa says to Nikki, she started off mentioning Nell. Never told Carly what she wanted to be forgiven for. Then got nasty because Carly said no, she didn't forgive her. Just like when she ran and bought the Metro Court and claimed she got it to give it back to Carly, with the condition that Carly forgive her for all she did to her. Carly said no then too. I wouldn't have given the forgiveness she claims she wanted. She always has a motive connected to a gift. She is trying to give to a gift she is trying to give. If she would stop being so dishonest, she wouldn't have to ask for forgiveness. Willow will not just forgive her either. She will hopefully hold her accountable for her actions. Sonny will not just say, okay, since you asked me for forgiveness, it's all good. You have lied to me about everything you have said since we've been together. You're forgiven, baby. And then DB says to Lisa, that's not the only people. Wait, it's not that only that people know who it is that people closest to Carly that's pissing me off. It's like they low key close the ranks around Nina. I know. What about Olivia? But I hear her big mouth's getting ready to spout off soon. Good, good. And then Lisa says Ava is supposed to take that gun to Sonny's house. The very next day. I know she sure didn't. Laura not thinking clearly. Why would Nicholas have a pink glove? Really? Think about it, Laura. And then Wendy says the writers made her lame at will. And then Lisa said to Wendy, yes, they did. The core writers are back. Yeah, I know. I'm not liking it. And then Lisa says, Spencer didn't give Esme. all her rambling time to confess. Why would he want to be with Esme? I've been waiting for her to say Spence when she slips up, and she will. And she will. That's it for Comic Corner. Comic Corner, great comments, everybody. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.